I'm Sarah Nolan, 32 years old, and at the family dinner that night, everything changed. My parents looked at me across the table and said I was lucky to work for the family. 5 years without a raise, 5 years of grinding. And they said I should be grateful. Then, they brought my sister in and paid her double. I'd turned our small family business in Cleveland, Ohio, Nolan Designs, into a $10 million powerhouse. My designs, my systems, my late nights, my sacrifice, but sitting there with candles flickering and wine glasses clinking. My dad leaned back and said, "You've got it good, Sarah." Mom nodded, smiling proudly, and at my sister. "Caitlin just brings such fresh energy," she said. I sat there frozen. Their words hit harder than I expected. 5 years of building their dream, and they saw me as replaceable. That night, I made a promise to myself. I was done being their shadow. Done playing small, stick around. Because what happened next turned their family business into my empire. Let me take you back to where it all started. At 27, I joined Nolan Designs. Back then, we were barely making $5 million a year. Old school designs, slow systems, outdated everything. I saw potential, so I rebuilt it. I introduced clean, modern aesthetics, created a digital platform that cut order times in half, trained our designers, and within 5 years, we doubled our revenue to $10 million at every client. Every contract, every late night, I gave it my all. But my parents, Paul and Janet, didn't see it that way. To them, I was just helping out. Their pride and joy was always my younger sister, Caitlin. The golden child. Growing up, she got new clothes, family-funded trips, and a shiny car for her 16th birthday. Me? I worked part-time jobs to pay my own tuition. Nothing changed as adults. Caitlin failed at every job she tried. Selling candles, chasing followers, doing influencer marketing with 2,000 followers. Each time, Mom and Dad bailed her out. They called her creative. Meanwhile, I was keeping their company alive and invisible. Then came the dinner. The moment everything broke. I'd spent weeks preparing a report, showing how I'd doubled company revenue, closed a $1.2 million condo deal, and cut delivery times by 30%. I wanted a raise, from $60,000 to $100,000, fair for what I'd built. Dinner was at our Shaker Heights home. The table was perfect. Mom's heirloom china, salmon and rosemary, candles glowing. I waited until dessert was cleared. Then I spoke. "Mom, Dad, I've been the backbone of Nolan Designs for 5 years," I said. "I doubled our revenue, landed million-dollar deals, built the systems that keep us running. I'm asking for a raise to $100,000. I slid the folder across the table. Graphs, testimonials, proof. Dad barely glanced. "Sarah," he said flatly, "you're not seasoned enough for that kind of money." My heart dropped. Mom smiled softly. "Be grateful, honey. You're lucky to work with family." And then Caitlin laughed, not even looking up from her phone. "Yeah, Sarah. Chill." Something inside me snapped. "I know what I've earned," I said quietly. "Even if you don't." I cleared my plate. And I walked out. 2 weeks later, I did what they never expected. I quit. Dad panicked. "Sarah, you can't just leave. We need you." I laughed. "You didn't when Caitlin showed up." Mom said, "Honey, don't be dramatic." "Your family." "Exactly," I said. "And that's the problem." I called my best friend Monica. She worked for Urban Elegance, a rival firm in downtown Cleveland. When I told her what happened, she didn't hesitate. "Sarah, you're the reason that company's even standing," she said. "I'll set up a meeting with our CEO tomorrow," and she did. 2 days later, I walked into Urban Elegance's glass-walled office and walked out with a new job. Senior operations lead, $90,000 a year, bonuses, respect. The same week, 2 of my old teammates, Lucas and Jenna, joined me. We built a powerhouse team. Within 2 months, we brought in $2.5 million in new contracts. Urban Elegance started making headlines. Nolan Designs started crumbling. Caitlin's marketing ideas were a disaster. She spent $15,000 on a photo shoot of herself, posting pictures of sunglasses and coffee cups. No logos, no projects, just her face. Orders dropped. Clients complained. And soon, Nolan Designs was losing money. Projects fell apart. The systems I'd built broke without me. Deliveries were delayed for months. Big clients left within 6 months. They were $2 million in debt. And then, my phone rang. It was Dad. His voice was shaky. "Sarah, we need you back," he said. "Nolan Designs is falling apart," Mom jumped in. "Honey, we were wrong. Caitlin tried, but she's not you." I listened, calm, silent. Then I said, "I'll come back, but only if you sign the company over to me, completely." After 2 days of negotiation, they agreed. The papers were signed. Nolan Designs was mine. I brought Lucas and Jenna back. We rebuilt everything from the ground up. New branding, better systems, real leadership. We landed 3 major developers, $7 million in contracts in the first year, $15 million in revenue by year 3. Meanwhile, my parents moved to a small house in Parma. Caitlin got a retail job at a boutique. I didn't hate them, but I didn't pity them either. They taught me the hardest lesson of my life, that your worth doesn't depend on who recognizes it. It depends on what you build. Today, Nolan Designs is thriving again. And this time, it's not my family's company. It's mine, so if your family ever made you feel small, if they ever took you for granted, remember this. You don't need their approval to rise, just your own determination. Hit that like button if you've ever had to prove your worth. Subscribe for more stories like this. And tell me below, have you ever stood up for yourself and changed your life? Because sometimes